Hey, listen, there's a police officer in Boston who is calling Professor Gates a jungle monkey. There's a host on TV who says the President of the United States is a racist. And then you have this radio host who we all have heard of in the past who's saying that the President is an angry Negro. Given the fact that I think even the President would admit he probably shouldn't use the word stupidly, but he did, are some of these folks, by piling on, doing the President a favor politically?
I don't believe that anyone wants to score political points over the controversy involving Professor Gates and Sergeant Crowley. This is a moment for people to basically take a step back, for cooler heads to prevail, to turn down the heat and the rhetoric, and to begin to sit, listen, and learn. That's how we make progress. That's how you make change in this country. For over 200 years, Rick, we have seen race played out in this country. We had a Civil War and a Civil Rights Movement. But we also turned the page with a new chapter with the election of Barack Obama. This is a moment for us to continue to make progress and to continue to build or rebuild trust between the minority communities and the police department. We have so much to do as a country. There's no place for wedge politics like race to be invoked at this time.
Because it's a conversation ender. Because once you call someone a racist, the conversation has ended and both camps go to their corners, correct?
Absolutely, but also it misses the point because we often cannot get to, finding out what we all agree with. I'll never forget during the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina, there were some who called former President George W. Bush a racist, and I disagreed. I disagreed because I said, look, the policies and the practices of not just the federal government, the state and local government, we could all criticize, but to call the president out, I thought was wrong, morally wrong. And I wrote a column in the Washington Post that said, I want to work with this president to, rebuild my city, rebuild my hometown, because that was the important thing to consider.
But I'm glad you mentioned that, because let's stick with New Orleans if we can. I think it's somewhat analogous to this. White Americans, in large measure, looked at the situation with Katrina in New Orleans and saw it as a bureaucratic screw-up. African Americans and Hispanics looked at the very same situation and saw it as some kind of racist act. Same situation, two different kinds of people looking at the same thing and coming out with two different conclusions. How's that possible? Because
we all come to this with our own experiences and our own biases and our prejudices. And sometimes they're true and sometimes they're not. But the good thing about President Obama, and one thing I want to mention, is that he admitted to making a mistake and possibly aggravating the situation. And today, cooler heads with hopefully something cool to drink will allow us to get past just this incident, but on to a new chapter that we all want to have in this country.